Hello guys, so in today's video we're going to be talking about Yeonmi Park, a woman that's from North Korea, and she defected from North Korea to South Korea. And it's a whole different story. This video is going to kind of just give a comprehensive breakdown of all of her lies and the stuff that she's lied about in her book, the stuff that she's lied about in interviews on YouTube, the stuff that she's lied about constantly, even on Joe Rogan Experience and all these different podcasts and all of these stories that she keeps lying about. This is the video that you guys need to watch, and we're going to break it down. We're going to expose her yet again. We exposed her before, but we're going to expose her again. Thank you guys for watching.
Why do North Korean defectors keep on changing their stories?
North Korea is an unimaginable country. When I was 9 years old, I saw my friend's mother publicly executed. Her crime? Watching a Hollywood movie.
That is a truly horrendous account. The problem here is that Park has a long history of glaring inconsistencies in interviews that have left some experts scratching their heads. For instance, she says this about the fate of her father.
My father died in China after he escaped North Korea. And I had to bury him at 3 a.m. in secret.
But she's also told reporters on another occasion that her father was cremated. She told the Irish Independent that at one point, her and her sister were forced to fend for themselves in the mountains after their parents were imprisoned.
Who looked after you?
No.
Were both of your children or were both of your parents in jail at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
So you looked after yourself.
Yeah, sister and I.
How did you survive?
We had to find our ways to find the food to eat, and I had to go to mountain and just get the grasses and plant there.
Dragonflies, I think.
Yeah, dragonflies and more than things like frogs.
But she gave a very different version of events to the BBC.
After my father went to prison and my mom went to prison, four of us all separated. So my sister went to my uncle's house and I went to my aunt's house and lived there for 3 years.
Park's subsequent explanation of her varied accounts was that it was because of a language barrier, having only recently learnt English. But such extreme differences in narrative are clearly more than just translational errors. In the end, we don't know what to believe. The same is true of other high-profile defectors. For example, former prisoner Shin Don-hyuk confessed parts of his testimony that went towards writing the international bestseller Escape from Camp 14 were false. Similarly, former intelligence officer Kwon Hyuk told US Congress he had witnessed human experiments. His accounts were retold in a BBC documentary. However, South Korea's Yonhap news agency later revealed that he had never had access to such information. But why is this happening? With North Korea almost completely cut off from the world, it's perhaps unsurprising that journalists are willing to pay a lot of cash for eyewitness accounts. These days, it can be well over $500 an hour. The juicier the details of human suffering, the bigger the bucks and/or exposure. But the press then turn a blind eye when sensational claims are disputed. Sadly, though, these lucrative falsehoods ultimately backfire as they enable the regime and its apologists to dismiss all claims as lies.
As you guys can see, there's a lot of glaring inconsistencies in her story. She lied about her father dying. She lied about everything. Almost everything. I mean, there's obviously some things that she didn't lie about. But the thing is, a lot of people mix in the truth with lies so that people actually believe that they're telling the truth. It's like that law in deceptive, like use selective honesty to disarm your victim. That's one of the laws in the 48 Laws of Power. I suspect that she's using that law to very good effect. And a lot of people are getting hoodwinked by that because most people in this planet are sheep. Most people are not willing to do the research. Most people probably don't have the time to do the research because they have a family, they have a job. They only have so much time in a day. So I guess they don't really care enough to do the research. So I'm going to put all the facts out here for you guys to decide whether or not you believe me. Well, I mean, there's really nothing that you can say. The clip is right there of her lying and lying and lying and lying and lying, constantly lying. For her own financial gain, she's lying to make money, which, I find it morally reprehensible that you're misleading people intentionally to benefit your own back pocket. But at the same time, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, because me myself, I wouldn't do something like that. But the world that we live in right now, it's, she's basically capitalizing off of people's gullibleness, because most people, just like I said, most people are not going to do the research necessary to actually find out the truth. You guys can't even stand the truth. You don't want the truth. You can't stand the truth. You can't stand the truth. You don't want the truth. You don't want to know actually what's happening, the brass tacks. Look at Ukraine. People don't want the truth, man. Even if you look at Ukraine, people don't even want the truth. Which I don't really have a problem with that. So going back to Yeonmi Park, I find it very difficult to kind of believe anything that she says, especially when she's lied so many times. It's like that boy who cried wolf. He lied once, people came back again the second time, but then he lied again. People are not really going to believe you like that, man. Actually, the second time it actually worked out. They came. But then the third time, she's lied more than 3 times and people still believe her. So I guess that old adjective doesn't really hold true. Well, it's mostly because people actually believe that she's telling the truth. But she's not. She's doing it for her own financial gain. See, she's getting $500 per interview, possibly more if there's some type of... She's definitely making the situation seem worse than it is, and she's capitalizing off of a loophole, and she's making money. Good on her. I don't have a problem with that. I hope she makes as much money as possible, but I just hope you guys will go out there and do some research before you believe anything blindly, just because you hear it from a source. Look, man, Joe Rogan doesn't really do any of his fact checks in these interviews. Let's be real. He just speaks off the cuff. Like, he even says in one of his videos, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just a guy on a podcast talking. Like, you see, it's interesting how everything plays out, man. But anyway, guys, we're gonna put some more clips in here, and I want to see if you guys believe her or not. We're gonna put more clips and more clips and more clips. Try and kind of, overload your brain with information and the truth. But I know you guys can't stand the truth.
Why do people, I know you get criticism online and you have people that tell you that you're lying about your story. Who are those people and why is that happening?
So I'm very hated by Marxists, Maoists, Leninists, socialist, communists, right? Because North Korea is the last country in this earth right now holds this ideology called socialism. They themselves describe themselves as a socialist paradise. Therefore, this is the last country holds this ideology. And what happens is that the people anti-America, anti-freedom, capitalism, hates America, and they know that North Korea is enemy of them. So they hate me for me supporting free market, capitalism.
She just said we hate her because she supports the free market and capitalism. I love capitalism. I'm a capitalist. I'm not a Marxist, Leninist, communist, or whatever she's saying. Look, man, the truth is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. She's lying for financial gain. She's lying to make money, which is fine. A lot of people lie to make money on YouTube. I've lied before to make money on YouTube, but I've never lied about a situation as momentous as this. She's basically making money from lying about other North Koreans suffering and death and using that for her own advantage. She's basically like a fucking vulture. You guys know what a vulture is? They fucking feed on the carcass of dead animals. She's feeding off the carcasses of dead North Koreans. She's using that for her own advantage. She's doing all that to make money. It's fine. She's a vulture and she'll do anything to make money. She'll sell out her dad. She'll sell out her mom. She'll sell out her entire family to make money. It is what it is, man. It's fucked up. It's fucked up, man. It's messed up the world that we live in, man. The fact that just because she's attractive, I admit it. She's an attractive woman, I'm attracted to her. She's an attractive woman. But just because she's attractive, I'm not just gonna believe everything she says. You know, you gotta think with your brain, not with your little pee-pee. You gotta think with your brain, guys. Come on, let's do that. So, you know, she's kind of offloading all of her criticism by basically writing people off and saying that they're Marxists, they're Leninists, they're fucking communists. Oh, they hate capitalism. Come on, man. Don't nobody hate capitalism, man. She's just using that excuse to kind of like offload the criticism and the heat that's coming towards her because it's valid criticism. It's valid critiques. She's lied about everything. Majority of the stuff. I mean, to be honest, like you can't really tell which one's the truth or the lie because there's so much lies and there's probably some truth in there, but we gotta write off the truth because we don't know which one's true and which one's not. Just like the boy who cried wolf. You never, even if he's telling the truth later on, nobody gives a fuck because he lied so many times. It is what it is, guys.